I believe there are things as a leader and when you're learning leadership that when you see them, it has got to change your leadership model from there on in. This one list of characteristics of a blue leader is one of those things. It looks like a naive introduction to a program that gets you moving and talking, and it does that very successfully. But the characters of blue leader is also a fundamental pillar of understanding leadership. If this is your list of characteristics of a blue leader, and you look at the list, what three things do you see about that list? The first one, most of the elements on your lists are behaviors. We asked you to list the characteristics of the leader that was able to motivate and empower you to achieve something wow, something challenging, that creates an environment that is stimulating. And a lot of times we think that these leaders, it's all about these really crazy things that they are, that they've got these really crazy abilities. And when you look at what made the difference between this leader and another leader, what you come up with is a list of behaviors. What's the second thing? When you're looking at those behaviors, what strikes you about that list? What's really striking is that what is on this list are things that you can all do. It's not things that take some really specific characteristics or some abilities that are incredible. These are simple things that every single person can do. So when I'm going through the list, I would say, tell me, raise your hand when it's something that you cannot do. Developing people. Listening. We could all listen if we want to. Now, what's really important is sometimes you say, I don't do it. That's true. But the question is not, do you do it? The question is, if you had to do it, can you do it? Respects people. Provides honest feedback. Recognizes people. Providing time for people and being available for people. Allowing people to take risk. Trusting people. That's a difficult one. Because a lot of people say, well, I really can't trust somebody. Trust is one of those things that's really hard because we have to look at why can you not trust the person? What happened in the past that made it that you cannot trust the person? But when we really go and look at it, trust is still made up of different elements that we can all put into practice and we can do. We can trust people. We learn not to, or because of our leadership effectiveness, we're not getting the results we want, so then we don't trust the person anymore. What you'll learn in the program is that most of the problems that you have with the performance coming from your people is actually coming from less effective leadership. And when we have a stronger leadership style or more effective leadership style, then you tend to get the work that you're looking for. And then the ability to trust someone goes up. So trust is one of those catchy things because it also is a result of ineffective leadership. Challenging. Who cannot be challenging? Who cannot have a vision? Now, in that situation, I can see some hands are going up, okay? Not everybody, but we do have some hands going up. A vision is a good one because not everybody can do it. But when we're talking about leadership, what's really important is how do you view yourself as a leader? If I am not visionary, but I need to have a vision in order to be an effective leader, then I'm in trouble. A lot of that trouble is caused because leaders also tend to look at themselves as being an island. I'm the leader. I draw a circle around myself. All of the skills that I have are limited to skills that I have. When we're talking about leadership, you have to draw a different circle. You've got to draw a circle around your team. And we have to consider that all of the skills that are on my team are available to me. They're skills that I have because I'm the leader of the team. So, for example, if I am not visionary, what I need to do is learn how to empower people in order to create the vision. So, for example, in this room, how many people out here are really good at vision? How many people can say, I am very good at creating a vision, thinking about the future, and communicating that? Okay, we have a couple hands that go up. Not everybody, but we have a few. So if you are not good at creating a vision, then as a leader, what you need to be good at is learning how to identify those on your team that are very good at creating visions and empowering them in order to create the visions, and then you'll have a good vision. See, there's another thing about leadership that's really important. You don't have to do it. You have to make sure it gets done. I don't have to create the vision. It doesn't say in here, the characteristics of blue leader is that they create the vision. No, they have a motivating vision. And that vision can be designed by other people. Okay, other things. Can you support the team? Can you confront individuals? Most of the things on that list are things that you can all do. Now on the list, I'll also talk about a couple things. You see the line under here, and that we put motivational, empowers others, or charismatic under the line. These are things that a lot of people believe are characteristics of a really great leader. He's motivational. She's really empowering. She's really charismatic. A lot of people say, but I'm not motivational. I'm not empowering. I'm not really charismatic. And again, a lot of times we view that in the wrong way. For example, charismatic, they tend to think it's a person that has, a lot of energy. Okay, that's one way to view it. But let me ask you this. If you have a leader who's a quiet leader, a low energy person, but that leader develops people, listens to people, respects people, provides honest feedback, recognizes people, is available for his people, allows people to take risks, trusts people, is challenging, has a very clear vision, supports the team, and confronts people when they have to. Do you think that leader would be charismatic? Of course he would. Do you think he would be motivating? Of course he would. Do you think that she would be empowering? Of course she would. So actually, all of these things that we say, wow, I can't do that, are nothing more than the result, again, of these very simple behaviors up over here that you can all do. There's another thing about this list that's really in common. The lists are fundamentally the same. In the beginning of this exercise, I asked you, I said, listen, I don't want to give you a model of leadership. I asked you, let's develop a model of leadership, your model of leadership based on practical examples of the leaders that motivated and empowered you the most. I asked you to come up with your model so we wouldn't have to tell you what that model is. And program after program, for the last 20 years that I've been doing this, every program comes up with the same list. So even before you came into this room, I was able to write down this list over here. In fact, the list is already in the slides. But if you look at the list that I've come up over here, and if you look at your list of characteristics of your blue leaders, what you're going to see is fundamentally they're the same lists. And it doesn't matter if the participants came from America, Europe, and all the different countries in Europe, Asia, Africa, they all come up with the same list of things. We did a program last week in Indonesia, Asian culture. And we go out to dinner on Wednesday night with all the leaders. And I'm sitting with the group and they say, Jacques, we think this program's Asian. We think you're Asian. Now, you know the Asian culture is completely different than our culture over here. It's, they've got different ways of doing things. And they go to the exact same program with the exact same notes. They go through everything. And the Asians say, we think this is an Asian model of leadership. It fits with their way of being in their culture perfectly. It fits in well with Romania. It fits in well with the Holland. It fits in well with the Germans. It fits in well with the Swiss. It fits in well. Because fundamentally, aren't these just characteristics of the way people deal with people, and it really doesn't matter where you are in the world? If you treat someone with respect or don't treat them with respect, whether you're in Africa, Asia, America, Switzerland, Germany, Romania, Bulgaria, it doesn't matter. These are normal characteristics of the way people deal with people. So the lists are always the same. And every single program, no matter where people come from in the program, they end up with the same characteristics of what motivates them. People are people. You smile at a person, it has the same basic result. You recognize a person, it has the same basic result to them, no matter where they come from. So what happens is the lists are a lot more in common than they are different. They're slight changes, but they're slight. It's still the fundamental same model. Now, my learning from that is that there is a universal, simple model of leadership in which, if we apply these characteristics here, you will end up being motivating, empowering. People will be accomplishing things they didn't think they can accomplish before. You'll create working environments that are fun, challenging, and brings out the best in people. And you'll create a high-performance team that gets a lot of results. And what do you have to do? This is what you have to do.